You're watching ABC 7 News at 4, starting with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. Finally making it here to Friday, and it is a hot one at that. And we have some football games tonight, too. And if you're going to be outdoors for the next couple of hours, look at this. Heat index at 103. There's not a lot of cooling storms around either. Looks like 91 degrees at the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport. West to southwest winds at 9. And the pressure's way up there, 30-14. And the dew point 76. Not as many storms expected this evening, but we will still see some. That southeasterly wind flow will be butting up against that west coast sea breeze, and we'll see a few. Now, yesterday at this time, we had a little bit more activity in places like Hardy and also Wauchula, near Wauchula, Sebring, near Highlands County, as well as into DeSoto County. Not as much tonight, and so that means we won't have as much moisture to work with, but there'll still be some convergence set up. I sensitized the radar a little bit, and you can still see that sea breeze is all the way into near I-75 in Manatee County and into Sarasota County, all the way down south of Venice. And a few showers now near Inglewood and Minnesota Beach. Not much, a few, but we will see a little bit more scattered about. So I think most areas will stay relatively dry, but there will be some storms developing. Winds out of the west right now near the coast, and then as we move into Saturday morning, they'll be out of the east and northeast, and then a little sea breeze will develop in the afternoon. As far as the evening planner goes, looks like this. Temperature staying pretty warm. A few clouds around. As I mentioned, there will be some isolated showers and a few thunderstorms. Well, more in the weekend weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline Scott.
All right, Bob, thank you. First at 4, a City of Sarasota employee under fire after scathing evaluations from her employees surface.
Commissioners are now calling for an investigation into City Auditor and Clerk Pamela Natalini. It was a letter dated July 16th that pushed Sarasota City Commissioners to talk about a laundry list of allegations against Natalini. It was written by her former employee, Derek Andrews Wright, who alleges she fired him after he addressed her treatment of him and other city employees. The letter comes after 22 negative evaluations of Natalini were turned into commissioners late last year. The commission now calling for an investigation.
You just can't ignore that. That's too many employees who are really counting on the commission to investigate it and, take appropriate action.
Natalini will not comment on the allegations because of this pending investigation.
Well, red tide is still very present here on the Suncoast. Hundreds of fish continue to wash ashore on our beaches, and the color of the waters remain a reddish brown.
But today we're learning of something new that has taken over the sand and is infesting the shoreline. ABC 7's Rebecca Fernandez joins us live from Casperson Beach near Venice with the story. Rebecca?
Scott, Jacqueline, well, if all the dead fish and the unbearable stench didn't keep people from coming to Casperson Beach, this might. Maggots have taken over the area. At first, they blend in with the shells and shark teeth that can normally be found here, but when you get a closer look, you can see that these larvae are very much alive and squirming near the dead fish and all along the shoreline of Casperson Beach. Scientists tell us that the red tide conditions along with the warm weather has caused the infestation because flies are laying their eggs right on the beach. And tonight at 6, you'll get to hear from a family who experienced these maggots swimming around them in the water, and they've decided to cut their vacation short because of these unfortunate conditions. Live in Venice, Rebecca Fernandez, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, Rebecca, thank you so much. New information now on the number of dead marine life here on the Suncoast, likely from red tide. Mote Marine Lab scientists say they've answered more than 150 calls regarding distressed sea turtles in the area. Most of them were found dead. In only 6 days, they've taken in 12 dead dolphins. Those numbers just in this area. Florida Fish and Wildlife has taken in 3 more dead dolphins to the Southwest Field Lab, which is just south of us. They say they are getting up to 20 phone calls every day regarding distressed animals. In other news, new developments in the Tampa mother accused of leaving her child in the Hillsborough River to drown. Today, her attorney entering a plea of not guilty. According to the Hillsborough County Court, Shakayla Denson waived her right to appear in court today, and her attorney submitted the plea on her behalf. Denson was arraigned on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child assault, and grand theft auto. Denson is accused of driving her 4-year-old daughter to the Hillsborough River in Tampa in a stolen vehicle and then leaving her to drown. Jacqueline joins us now with the latest on the disappearance of a pregnant mother and her 2 young daughters in Colorado.
Scott, investigators believe they've found the remains of all 3, and the husband is appearing in court after reportedly confessing to killing them. Just days earlier, Chris Watts was pleading for his missing family to come back home. Police now believe they have found the body of 34-year-old Shanann Watts and the couple's 2 daughters on the property where Chris Watts used to work. Watts' close friends that stood by his side and even opened their home to him are now speaking out.
We feel so stupid about that now. Like, trusting him to stay the night in the same house as our daughter. I mean, I'll never let that go. We thought we were doing the right thing by trying to be a good friend to him.
Shanann Watts and her 2 daughters vanished on Monday. Her friends began to worry about her after she missed a doctor's appointment. Well, the teenager who was pushed off a 60-foot bridge in Washington state says the friend who sent her plunging into the water deserves some jail time for nearly killing her. Jordan Holgerson is now home but continues to recover from 6 broken ribs, 2 punctured lungs, and multiple other internal injuries. Police have finished an investigation into the event and have passed on the case to the Clark County Prosecutor's Office for potential criminal charges. Now to an Arizona teenager struck by lightning and surviving. He says he feels like Superman after CPR brought him back to life. You can't tell by looking at him, but just a few short days ago, Josiah Weedman cheated death. The 13-year-old thankful after this electrifying close call when he and his friend were struck by lightning walking through a park.
As we were walking, I got struck, sending me 9 feet up into the air, making me bounce on my head and then flip over to my back.
That jolt of lightning left him with a skull fracture and concussion. He spent the next 3 days in a drug-induced coma, surprising doctors with his lightning-fast recovery. The man who saved his life performed CPR until paramedics arrived on scene, Josiah's father calling him his guardian angel. Well, let's send it back to Scott for a new project to expand the bridge connecting Tampa and St. Petersburg.
Well, Jacqueline, Florida is preparing to pay nearly $1 billion to expand the Howard Franklin Bridge connecting Tampa and St. Petersburg. The state expects to pay $814 million for a new 8-lane bridge that will be used as a partial expansion of the old one. The 3-mile span will include 4 southbound lanes from Tampa to St. Petersburg, 2 express toll lanes in each direction, and a bike and pedestrian trail. Once it's built, the 4 current southbound lanes will be flipped and then will go north from St. Pete to Tampa. A first alert traffic, an early morning crash sends 1 woman to the hospital. This happened around 1 o'clock this morning at US 41 in Goldenrod. Police say a driver ran into the side of a semi-truck that was making a delivery. Police say the driver was not wearing her seatbelt and was taken to Sarasota Memorial with non-life-threatening injuries. Coming up, some SunPass customers will now be reimbursed after a major accounting malfunction. A video taken from a Sarasota County student is leaving parents concerned for their kids' safety on school buses. Plus, a college graduate finally receives his diploma, and it's a celebration 83 years in the making.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value, great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
I heard about the Datole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Datole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Datole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Some good news for drivers who fell victim to SunPass, charging them bank fees after a major accounting malfunction earlier this year. The state is now ready to reimburse them. ABC 7's Jackie Kelly is at the Skyway Bridge now with how you can get reimbursed. Jackie?
Scott, millions of toll transactions statewide were delayed due to a billing system upgrade. Now some customers were even charged bank fees when they were finally processed. FDOT says customers can start to ask for reimbursements for any penalties incurred between June 11th and August 17th. Now DOT officials do say that the company in charge of that upgrade will be billed. Reporting live at the Skyway Bridge, Jackie Kelly, ABC 7, your Suncoast News. Back to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you so much. Some school buses in Sarasota County are dealing with overcrowding during the first week of school. Cell phone video shot by a student shows students sitting and standing along the aisle while riding the bus. Abby Kaufman, the mother of a Sarasota middle school student, told ABC 7 the problem started last school year. The issue is still happening this school year, forcing students to wait longer for a second bus or ride home in an overcrowded bus. ABC 7 is in contact with Sarasota County Schools about the incident. We'll have more coming up at 5. Let's get to Jacqueline now in the newsroom with what's trending today.
Scott, a 105-year-old man finally got his college diploma 83 years after graduation. Bill Vogt was among the first students to set foot on the San Diego State University campus after it opened in 1931. He graduated in 1935 but never got a printed diploma. The school found out back in May when they went to award him for becoming a lifetime member of SDSU alumni. Yesterday, he got to hold his diploma for the first time.
He finished his work in December in 1934, but there was no mid-year graduation ceremony at the time. Otherwise, he might have walked at the commencement with a classmate in 1935.
Well, that diploma was retro-dated to February 1st, 1935. Voigt is also believed to be the oldest person ever to become an SDSU alumni lifetime member. And while we're on the subject of long overdue discoveries, the missing stern of a famous World War II ship has been found. The USS Abner Reed was sailing near Alaska in 1943 when it struck a mine. The resulting explosion separated the stern from the ship. 300 sailors were on board, 90 went into the water, only 20 were rescued. Officials say the remains will stay where they are, with one Navy expert saying, quote, "It's a war grave and we treat it as such." Well, after a week of dangerous and damaging floods, emergency responders in Pennsylvania can add one more rescue to their list. They saved a dog named Damon from a sinkhole yesterday. Well, Damon was about 8 feet below ground in a sinkhole that was likely caused by this week's heavy rain in that area. The fire department has run a few pet rescue operations in the past, but a dog in a sinkhole is admittedly a new one. The dog and its owner were a bit shaken, but are said to be doing just fine. Well, let's send it back to Scott in the studio with a health alert that may be concerning to some parents.
That's right, Jacqueline. A warning for parents whose children use EpiPens. A widespread shortage across the country could send kids who have serious allergies back to school unprotected. The EpiPen shortage, which has been an issue for months, is caused by manufacturing issues and local supply disruptions. Sales of EpiPens typically spike during back-to-school season. It's not clear yet how many children could be affected, and the shortage can vary among different pharmacies. In consumer news, Amazon is reportedly looking to buy a movie theater chain. Bloomberg says Amazon among the companies looking to acquire Landmark Theaters. The chain has 50 locations in 27 cities, including New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Reports from earlier this year claimed Amazon will focus on producing big movies to lure people into Amazon Prime. Well, it costs a lot of money to attend medical school, but some med school students in New York will be going for free. New York University giving all med school students scholarships that cover the cost of tuition. That's more than $55,000 a year. The school doesn't want the cost to deter people from pursuing careers in medicine. The average debt that doctors owe for their med school training, $191,000. Let's get a check on our weather just in time for the weekend with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Scott. Good evening, everyone. We're watching this high-pressure ridge still off to the northeast and providing us with an east to southeasterly wind through most of the day. That west breeze, though, has developed within a few miles of the coast, and you are getting some of that smell making its way back into the mainland from the decaying fish along our coast. Now, you can see that east to southeasterly wind with a lot of moisture down to our south. A little drier air has slipped in into the mid to upper levels, and that is allowing us to see fewer storms this afternoon. I think we'll see more obviously down to our south. But yesterday at this time, as I alluded to earlier, we had showers scattered about all of our interior counties, and the west coast breeze kind of pinned right along I-75. And as those two met, that's when we saw those pretty big storms that produced some heavy rainfall at times over areas. But nothing going on there right now. All is quiet across our region, and looks to be pretty good for tonight's action as far as the football classics go. There's that dry air I mentioned. You can see it all over the Atlantic here in the southwest Atlantic. It is stretching right through central Florida. A little bit moisture down to, a little bit more down to our south. That's the reason why they're going to have a little bit better chance for some rainfall there this evening. This will be in place tomorrow, too, so we're going to see below average rain chances on Saturday, and that means only a few scattered about. The forecast model is suggesting 1 or 2 lone showers popping up here and there, but no real widespread, long duration kind of rain expected here. But don't be surprised by 1 or 2 lone showers. You'll say we may see one pop up, say 8, 9 o'clock tonight, and push off toward the west, northwest. Down to our south, a little bit more chance of a shower and thunderstorm activity on Saturday. They're getting the morning action like we do when we get that westerly wind along the east coast, and then in the afternoon and evening, some of those showers will have a tendency to work off toward the west coast. Still a tropical storm out there in the Atlantic, but it is fading away pretty fast as it heads toward Ireland. Ireland's going to get Ernesto, it looks like. Top winds are at 45. It will become non-tropical, I think, tomorrow and then head right into Ireland, eventually possibly bringing some very heavy rainfall there. It will not be a tropical storm, though. We'll get a look at this. This is getting blown apart as expected. The Hurricane Center really lowering its chances on this tropical disturbance. It's still going to bring a lot of rainfall to the islands here, but luckily they're not going to see any kind of organized system bring strong winds there. The chances are now down to 0, so no chance of it developing over the next 5 days. We'll watch as it moves through the Caribbean. Get a look at this. What a difference a year makes, right? This is last year's tropical outlook, same day, and we were watching a hurricane and 3 separate areas, and they had better than 50% chances of developing over the next couple of days. This one eventually turned into Harvey. So the water temperature being cooler, the fact that El Nino's around, we're going to have strong shear, is really bringing our chances of getting significant storms this year down. But as we always say, and you've heard it before, it only takes one storm to hit our coast to make it a very active season. 103 right now, that's what it feels like. 91 degree on the temperature and winds out of the west-southwest. 91 at the Sarasota Bradenton Airport, and the low pressure continues to stay mainly to our north there. This is going to eventually dig a trough into the eastern third of the nation, and what that means is, yes, we get back to that westerly flow. Southeast winds turn to the south at 10 knots tomorrow. Seas will be running 2 feet or less, and it looks like pretty good boating weather for Sunday as well. The 7-day forecast then, slight chance for late day showers. Most of the day should be sunny. It will be hot again, heat index up near 100. A 40% chance, a little bit more moisture comes back into play on Sunday, but by no means a rain out or washout. And then Monday, similar conditions. We'll see a transition day there. Slightly drier morning showers are possible Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as we get more to a west southwesterly wind. And our ABC 7 weather app is a valuable tool to have this hurricane season. Despite the fact we may not see a lot more storms, we could see anywhere from 5 to 7 additional storms before the season ends November 30th. And it's always a good tool to have to track those storms and the lightning that may be occurring. We talk about this every day. I think more and more people are downloading it, and you should join the party as well.
Absolutely. Great tool to have this time of year. Well, the extent of damage caused by the Howe Ridge Fire, that's at Glacier National Park in Montana, is becoming clear. The fire held steady yesterday, but has burned 3,500 acres with 0% containment. Crews are continuing to protect the remaining structures after several cabins and others burned earlier this week. The Howe Ridge Fire was sparked by lightning on August 11th.
And yesterday afternoon, the sky was overcast, but strong and shifting winds blew through the area, clearing haze from the villages and the lakes of the southern end, and briefly revealing the fire smoke plume, as you can see in this video right there.
Well, people in India are dealing with flash flooding. Authorities say flash floods and landslides have killed at least 164 people in the past 10 days as torrential monsoon rains continue to batter the southern Indian state. 13 of Kerala's 14 districts remain under a red alert, which is the highest warning level issued during emergencies in India.
Flooded railway tracks and roads have also complicated rescue missions. Heavy rains are expected to continue at least through tomorrow.
A lot of flooding we're seeing across the globe. Thank you, Bob. Still to come in your Suncoast News, why a tomato plant in Kansas is getting attention from the entire community.
Hey, I'm Stephanie Roberts from Suncoast View, and here's what's coming up Monday morning live at 9. Something new is coming to the Suncoast that you won't find anywhere else. We'll learn about the new Women's Sports Museum and the difference it is already making right here in our community. Plus, we'll talk about the rehab benefits of aquatic therapy, and the award-winning Motorworks Brewery will be in the studio. That's all coming up Monday morning live at 9. We'll see you then.
The Players Center invites you to explore the family dynamic in the classic story of On Golden Pond. The Tony Award-winning play opening August 9th is funny, thoughtful, and brutally honest. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit us online at theplayers.org. On Golden Pond is calling you.
Another pair of satisfied emotions. Looks to me like elation and maybe some amazement. It's part of the Honda Summer Spectacular event experience. You could say satisfaction comes standard here, just like the Honda Accord comes standard with a luxurious, roomy interior. All at the Honda Summer Spectacular event.
We see it all the time.
Visit your local Honda dealer and test drive the Honda Accord, 2018's North American Car of the Year.
I work hard all day, and this is why. But taking care of my money has never been easy. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, making it easy to keep track of my money and pay my bills on time.
Here's to the strong, to the dependable, to the trusted. Your family counts on you. Who can you count on? The Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. With direct deposit, you can get your paycheck or government payments up to 2 days faster.
I don't have time to wait for a paycheck, cash it, and then run around and pay bills. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, time.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no cost to order and no credit check. Load money onto your card and then shop online, pay bills, buy groceries.
I get a text alert every time our card is used, so we always know our balance.
And we're protected from unauthorized transactions. Brinks gives us peace of mind.
With Brinks, you can conveniently manage your money online and with the mobile app.
I get cash back on everyday purchases. Brinks knows what's valuable to me, saving money.
Call now or go online to get your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. There's no credit check and no cost to order. And with a qualifying direct deposit, we'll upgrade you to Brinks Preferred with extra benefits, including a savings account with up to a 5% annual percentage yield. And in this TV-only offer, personalize your Brinks Prepaid MasterCard with your photo for added security. Get paid faster with the Brinks Prepaid MasterCard. Manage your money on the go, anywhere, and get the peace of mind you deserve. Brinks knows what's valuable to you. Call right now to order your Brinks prepaid MasterCard.
Call 1-800-290-8144.
There's no cost to order. Call now.
A Kansas man's tomato garden is getting a lot of attention. That's because several of the plants are 10 feet tall. By comparison, the average tomato plant, 3 to 5 feet tall. David Geil owns the garden, and he says he's not sharing his secret on how he got the plants to grow so tall, but he says he has been gardening almost all of his life and has never seen anything like this.
Just like I said, people can't believe me when I said I have to use a ladder to pick tomatoes, and they just laugh at me. But this, now I got proof.
Geil wants to build more cages to support his plants as they grow even taller. He's hoping his garden could surpass the world record for tallest tomato plant, and that currently stands, to get this, about 65 feet tall. I don't know how they did that. We're just getting started here on ABC 7. Jacqueline's in the newsroom now with more of the stories we're working on.
Scott, Suncoast beaches are still having tons of dead fish removed, but people who live on private waterways are still seeing dead fish wash up. Coming up tonight at 5, we'll hear what people who live on those waterways are being suggested to do. And at 6, Florida's unemployment rate has hit an 11-year low. How Florida continues to maintain the 3rd best in overall job creation across the U.S. And tonight at 7, the primary race for governor is less than 2 weeks away. We'll hear from Chris King on why he believes he should be the next governor of Florida. Let's send it back to Bob in the studio for a final look at our forecast.
Thanks, Jacqueline. And for your beach walk forecast for tonight, checking out the sunset. It's going to be warm, a few clouds around, a very slight chance for a few isolated showers. Most areas will stay dry, and we're looking for sunset at 8:06 for us tonight. As far as the day planner goes for Saturday, looks to be pretty good. We'll see a slight chance for late day showers in the mix. The rain chance is very small, though, at 30% only for a few storms. It will be warm. Heat index up near 100 to 103 in the afternoon hours. And again, we are looking at our current conditions. We have 91 degrees, 103 heat index, and winds out of the west-southwest at 9. There are not a lot of cooling showers around right now to bring a cool evening ahead, so it's going to stay pretty warm. A lot of the rain and moisture is kind of bottled up down to our south as some drier air has slipped in across the region, and it looks as though we will see a similar pattern set up for us tomorrow. A little bit better chance for maybe some coastal showers on Sunday. We'll have more coming up at 5. Scott?
All right, Bob, thank you. And thank you for joining us for ABC 7 News at 4. We'll see you again in about 30 minutes.